everyone. Welcome to the Dear Younger Me podcast. I am one of your hosts, Coach Nick or Nikki Johnson, and my beautiful co-host, Miss Rhoda Love. We want to welcome you to our first live episode of Dear Younger Me. Super excited. Tell me if we are live, if you can see from our page. Rhoda, please. And as you all are coming in, say something, whether you're watching live or in the replay, and we will say something back to you. This is an incredibly interactive podcast, so get ready to ask questions and chat with us down in the comments. And before we get started, Rhoda, talk to the people. What's up? We are here. We are live, girl.
We are live. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited for episode 1 today. Ooh, this podcast is going to be amazing. Yes, it is working, by the way.
Okay.
Now at my screen, all looks amazing. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I'm so excited for today. You came on a good day, child.
It's a good day to have a good day, that part. So before we kick off with the topics, they don't know, but we've already pre-recorded about 5 amazing episodes. One is already available, and we'll tell you more about that in at the end of the show. But this being our first live podcast, a lot of people do not know what it is and what we're doing. So let's tell the people. First, let's start off, because I know y'all noticed her beautiful, sexy accent. Tell the people where you're from, boo.
So I was born in Africa, but I grew up in New Zealand. That's why I talk like this.
That's why she talks like this.
Yes.
All right. It's a good day to have a good day. Period. That part. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, you all are officially the DYMP gang, the Dear Younger Me podcast gang. So what we're going to ask you guys to do is support us by reposting this. Let other people know that we're on. Send it to people in their private messages, because we want everybody to join in on this conversation. So help us, help you, help us by helping us help you. How about that? All righty. So let's introduce ourselves, and then let's talk about the podcast a little bit. Rhoda, would you like to go first, love?
Sure. So hi, everyone. My name is Rhoda Love on all social handles. I'm 25 years old, and on this podcast, I represent Gen Z. So obviously, Coach Nick is a little bit older than me. I know we look the same age, but
I mean, okay. More than a little bit older, but I'll take that.
Okay, period. She is a part of Gen X and I'm a part of Gen Z. So basically, I have a lot of questions about life to ask her, and I can get her perspective. I can get her wisdom. Obviously, she's lived longer than me, so I'm super excited to get her help and her wisdom on whatever topics that I need. And what's really cool about our podcast is you guys can send us any questions. You guys can send us topic requests so that we can chop them up with Coach Nick on our episodes. It's also cool because we have an audio podcast as well as a visual one. So some of you guys may prefer to listen. Some of you guys may prefer to watch. Some of y'all, like me, love both. So we've given that variety. And you can find Dear Younger Me podcast everywhere. Spotify, Apple here, and on YouTube as well.
That part. I love that. So also send them the email address, because throughout the show, if you all hear us start to hit on a topic, but we don't dive deep enough into it, we want to hear from you. So please give them the email address that they can email us at.
Yes, you can email us at Dear Nick and Rhoda, which is DEARNIK and RODA @gmail.com. And we will answer your emails there. Everything will be anonymous. If you're like, oh, I'm heartbroken, can you guys talk about heartbreak? We won't read your name. It's all confidential. So you can email us there.
There you go. We see some of you are coming in. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for the heart. We are so excited. So just a quick intro to me, because you get to know more about us throughout the episodes. My name is Nikki Johnson. I'm a life coach, a housing commissioner, a mother, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But right now, for this purpose, anytime you join us, I'm your big sister. I'm your auntie. I'm the friend that you need to talk to and ask a couple of questions with. I'm your shoulder. I'm whatever you need me to be. But I want to tell you all a little bit about Rhoda. Rhoda's talking about me and all the questions she's going to ask me, but Rhoda has a wealth of knowledge. She's 25, but it's like she's 45. So we're going to be digging into Rhoda as well. But also, I want to know like things that you all can relate to that she's asking, that we're talking about. If you're in my generation, things that I'm talking about, what are the things that you wished somebody was talking to you about when you were growing up? That looking back, you're like, man, if I knew then what I know now. And this is not just for the women, brothers, kings. We want you guys to chime in as well. Also, we want to know what type of guests you would like us to have on the show. Later on in the season or in season 2, we will be having some special guests. So we want to hear who you all would like to hear from. So with that being said, darling, are we ready?
Yes, we are ready.
All right, let's get started. Oh, and y'all, guess we never know. I never know what she's going to ask me. She never knows what I'm going to ask her. So we're about to find out together what's on Rhoda's mind for today. I'm nervous. I'm kidding. Go.
That's what I
I'm
love
playing.
about you.
Go. I trust
That's
you.
what
Go
I
ahead.
love about you, Coach. I can ask you any question. You always have answers. Lord, give me the same grace in Jesus' name.
Give me
Okay.
the same grace.
So I actually have a few things on my heart,
Okay.
but I want to start with Coach. The topic of healthy friendships. I don't know if it's something that you go through in your 20s or your age, or I don't even know if there's a specific age group, but I've been bumping into people who have been struggling to locate friends who are on their level, and
Hmm.
some have had to cut some friends off. Some friends I have don't even know what a healthy friendship looks like. So I'd love to chop it up with you about that.
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to tell you again, we never know what the other one's going to ask the other one, but friendship is something that I wanted to get in with you today because I remember when I was in my 20s, navigating friendships is different than when you're in high school. When you're a young adult and you're starting out, navigating friendships is so different because now you have responsibilities that you didn't have a few years ago, and trying to have time for life and work and jobs and still hang out with your friends and still get rest. It's a whole balancing game. Like it's a whole thing, right? So super good question. What I want to ask you is when you are asking about friendships, what does a friendship mean to you? Is it someone that you can talk to all the time or that you hang with all the time? Or what does that mean to you?
To me, a friend is someone who journeys with you in life through your highs and lows. They can
Hmm.
encourage you, they can pray for you, they can give you resources, they believe in you, they remind you of who you are. They're really intentional about getting to know you.
Hmm.
And yeah, they're just like a supporter for life in my eyes.
I love that. So, with that answer, now I have an answer for you. With those friendships, I believe there are seasons, reasons, and time. Some friendships are everything that you just said, but it's only for a season of your life. And
Mm.
the thing is you have to know when that season is coming to an end, because we try to hold on way longer than we're supposed to. And then things start to happen and that friendship starts to break down. Issues start to arise because we didn't recognize the time, right? Maybe you were just here while I was in college to help me get through a semester, or maybe you were just here for my childhood, but in my adulthood, we're not supposed to journey together. So I think knowing that is important. And then the reason, some people are there to serve a specific purpose. I've learned to start praying and asking God, what is this person in my life for? I even pray, show me the true motive of their heart towards me. And I know I've told you that, sorry about that, y'all, a few times, Rhoda, that that's super, super important because I need to know from God why somebody's in my life, because I don't want to miss the reason, right? Nor do I want to create a reason that's not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be lifetime, but I'm trying to make you lifetime, right? So that's really important. And then just knowing the time, what time of life are you in for a specific relationship? And being super honest with people with where you are, because if you get with someone that likes to party all the time and you're trying to do it just to say that I got a friend, y'all gonna bump heads because that's just not who you are. So just being honest with who you are at that time in your life. So that would be the way that I answer that question.
You said some are for a season
Hmm.
and a lifetime. So are there any signs of that? Like how do we discern that?
I think when you feel the shift, when you feel the breakaway and the grow apart, right? When you go from always wanting to be together, talking to each other, spending time together, and I'm talking romance as well as platonic. When you go from that to there are big gulfs in the communication, big gulfs in the time that you're spending together. You can kind of feel a difference in the attitude. You know what I mean? It's starting to feel a bit cold versus nice and warm. I think those are things that start paying attention to. But then, too, just look at your own life. Are you journeying one way and that person's going a totally different way? So there is no more commonality, right? That doesn't mean that it won't come back again another time, but just pay attention to the time that you're in. And it's good to have a conversation. I would talk to you and be like, Rhoda, I'm noticing that things are kind of changing and shifting. And that's your opportunity to tell me, yeah, Nick, you kind of pissed me off the other day. Or, you know what, I'm going this way, you're going that way. Or maybe we just don't have the same amount of time together. So I would say pay attention to what you see. And then communication is always best. Like, talk to me. What's up? Tell me that something feels wrong. Tell me that you're not getting enough time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. Has there been a time where you felt something different in a relationship that you had and you didn't know how to deal with it or you didn't know how to approach it or even what it felt like, but you knew it was something different?
Definitely many times that's happened, and I don't I don't know what to do. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess we've drifted apart. But
Mm-hmm.
then with what you're saying about communication, I don't think many people do that. I think
Mm-hmm.
people just let each other grow apart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe because of fear of conflict. I'm not sure. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if it's a bad thing to just silently grow apart. I don't know. But
I
yeah.
think we get in our feelings too. What about you? I think we get in our feelings if you're no longer responding to my phone calls, my text messages. You're not spending time with me. And so I don't really want to confront it. I just get in my feelings about it. We never discuss it. And then the friendship just dies off. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah. How would you handle it now? Being 25 and wanting to be a better version of you, how would you handle a situation like that?
Usually, if I haven't heard from someone in a long time, I just message them, "Hey, how are you? Miss you," and then see if they open up and talk, and then keep it going. There are
Yeah.
literally some friends I have who we talk every few months, once in a few months, and it's okay. I've just gotten used to it. What
Mm-hmm.
because before I'd be very upset about that kind of thing. But my
Mm-hmm.
big sister once told me, Rhoda, sometimes people will always have a heartbeat for you. You don't have to talk every day or every week, but there's
Mm-hmm.
still love there, and you can reach out to them anytime and they'll still
Mm-hmm.
be there for you. So I have some circumstances like that.
I love that. I love that they always have a heart for you, not always the time. Yeah, I love that. Hmm.
So I feel like we skipped over this. I should have asked you first. What are some signs? Well, what's the importance of having friends?
Ooh, I think the Bible says it best, and I'm going to really paraphrase it. Two are better than one. Two are better than one. Like having somebody that has your back. So I love the show The Walking Dead, right? Walking Dead fans, what's up? When they're going into like a territory where there are a lot of walkers, one of their best fighting defenses is back-to-back combat. Your back is up against mine, so I can see what's behind you, and you can see what's behind me, and we fight that way. And together, they usually win. It's the same way with having a friend. Like, have my back and I got yours. Um, I don't think it's as important the amount of friends that you have over the quantity of friends that you have, right? No, the quality. The quantity is not as important as the quality. So I'd rather have at least one that I know I have someone that I can talk to, that I can lean on, that I can trust, that has my back when I need it, versus having 10 people that I'm side eyeing all the time because I'm not quite sure how you really feel about me. Another thing that's important is the Bible again. If one of us fall in the hole, it's easier to get out that hole if somebody's there to pull you out of it. That is so true when it comes to life. Sometimes we can get into our own emotional holes inwardly because we are feeling bad, hurt, sad, or depressed about something. But if you have a friend that cares enough to notice that that's happening, to call you and to pray, or to say, no, we're getting out the house. No, I need you to pick your head up. If you're blessed to have that, that is such a treasure. So I think friendship is incredibly important. Plus, we can grow from each other, right? I don't know everything. You don't know everything. We can grow from each other. So, what about you when it comes to friendship? Why is that important?
Just like you said, we're not meant to do life alone. As the scripture says, two are better than one. I
Mm-hmm.
also think of Jesus, who was surrounded by friends.
Yeah.
Like, intentionally chose 12 of them to be close friends of his.
Mm-hmm.
And they really, like, there was so much fruit from that versus
Yeah.
him just journeying alone. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that life can be very challenging for an individual. So when you have friends, it makes life a lot easier. You know, someone
Mm-hmm.
can share your burdens, give ideas, offer help. You're not just struggling by yourself.
And it's fun. Like, I'm about to get with some of my friends tomorrow and kick it. It is so much fun when y'all get together. That synergy and that energy. And even if all of you all are drained and going through something, once y'all get together, it's nothing like it. So yeah, if you can have you at least one good real friend, that's a blessing.
For
Mm-hmm.
sure. So, what
Mm-hmm.
are the signs of a healthy friend?
A signs of a healthy friend, they're available. They are available. They are consistent. Um, they give as much as they take. It's a reciprocal relationship, right? It's not top heavy on either side because it's equal balance. Somebody that you can trust. Finding someone that you can trust and be naked and vulnerable in front of. If you can find that person and know that your business is not going to be out there in the streets, that is a treasure too. That is a treasure. Um, Someone that is not judgmental, however, they will correct you when needed, but do it in love to build you and not tear you down. Someone that supports you. Um, Somebody that you know, if you need anything, if they don't have it, they're gonna try to get it, or they're gonna hurt themselves trying to make sure that you can have it. So to me, those are signs of a really great healthy friendship. What about you?
Traits of a healthy friend, I would say someone who is honest, good at communicating, intentional.
Mm-hmm.
My pet peeve is when people aren't intentional. And I
Uh-huh.
think that's why so many friendships die off and they don't even
Mm-hmm.
continue.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who has some sort of wisdom or relational intelligence so that
Mm-hmm.
when you're interacting with them, it's not drama or weak or just frustrating. Someone who
Yeah.
has some sort of intelligence, someone who genuinely loves you and wants the best for you, someone who will always have a pure heart towards you,
Yeah.
and yeah, someone who just genuinely cares about your well-being more than anything.
Yeah. I love that. Do you look for those exact same traits um when it comes to business, when it comes to blood relation? Even you and I, do you look for those type of traits in all areas of friendship and in romantic relationships?
I'm single, y'all. I
As
don't
the
have.
eyes cross, yes.
I'm single. I don't have any relationship thing. Thank you, Kuds. um, no, no, no. The answer is no. I just specifically for friendships. I look for those things. Yeah.
So I have to ask you, with everything that you mentioned, why won't they apply to romantic relationships? Because don't you want someone that communicates, that is honest? And I know you're trying to jeer away from this part of the conversation, but everything that you said will also apply to romantic relationships. You ever thought about that?
It would, it would, it would. But I don't like. I don't know. I just guess I didn't sit there and think about it like
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off of that one. Go ahead.
Thank you. Now for
Y'all
love
don't know
life.
what looks like I
Love life.
know him,
Oh
but
my
we'll
gosh.
come back to it.
This is trying to talk about a love life I don't have.
I feel exposed. Go ahead.
Right. I feel exposed. No, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So those are the traits I look for in friendships. In other relationships, I just kind of let them happen organically. And then
Hmm.
if like with you, I didn't say I'm gonna be Coach Nick's friend, and I wasn't like just like watching you so that we can be friends. But
Right.
obviously we connected, and then I noticed those traits I listed to you,
Hmm.
just come out of you naturally. So that was
Hmm.
lit. And I was like, cool.
That
We
part.
rocking, we rolling.
That part. That part. And I love this statement from, and to if I'm saying it right, Kudza.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
right, Kudza. Yes, romantic relationships need a good foundation. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And thank you. We see that you're tuning in from YouTube. So listen, DYMP gang, we want to know from you all down in the comments, what are characteristics of a good, healthy relationship to you? What are some things that you look for in friendships? Let us know down in the chat. All right, Ro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when okay, so we've talked about the importance of having friendships,
Hmm.
the traits of a healthy friend. What does a healthy friendship look like apart from communication?
Is it healthy? If there's no communication, is it healthy?
No, we've said that already. So what are some other
Oh,
signs of
okay. I
a
thought you
healthy
meant like if you
friendship?
didn't have it. I was like, yeah. Um, I would say time. I would say time spent together, and understandably, sometimes you have to move apart, and so being together physically is not an option. But with today's technology, there's no excuse because we can FaceTime. You can be on Google Duo. You can talk to me through Facebook Messenger. There's so many different ways that we can communicate. So I think time, to me, time, no matter what relationship, whether it's business, it's romantic or friendship, you need that time together. How else are you going to grow together if you're not spending time together?
Hmm.
I would tell you, I've seen it not happen. I've seen it not happen, but what I have seen is people grow apart. And I've seen things fall apart because there's no time being spent. So I think time would be the next most important thing, in my opinion. And then the next would probably be real trust, real trust. So, yeah. What about you?
Wait, what is real trust?
Real trust, like, if I can leave you with my bank card, my purse, leave you my keys, trust you around my children, trust you around my husband, that's real trust. But if I say I trust you, but I can't really trust you around specific things, or I don't ever want to tell you certain things because I'm not quite sure if you're going to go back and go tell Kudza what I said. You know what I mean? That's not real trust. Somebody that I can just go out and kick it with and that'll pay for me to get into the club, that's not trust to me. You just paying for me to get in and kick it in the club. But in those times where I need it the most, that's when like real trust will stand up, in my opinion. Yeah.
That's so good.
Mhm.
You asked what do I think healthy
Mhm.
friendship looks like. I think it's a healthy friendship is a safe place,
Mhm.
where you can be completely honest, vulnerable, transparent, all the adjectives
Right.
to
All
the
the
other
things.
person. Yes, and they have the capacity to either listen to you and offer comfort,
Mhm.
or add some sort of wisdom to whatever you're going through. I
Yeah.
think a healthy friendship is one where both parties, like you said, don't tell each other's business. Like everything is confidential. And I think the heart motives, the heart posture needs to be very pure. Like no one should secretly be jealous of the other or
Girl.
just weird stuff. Like
Girl.
you
Mm-hmm.
genuinely want the best for each other. No
Mm-hmm.
strings attached. Unconditional love as well. I've
Yes.
seen so many people just be dropped and they should have been embraced. They should have been shown mercy and kindness. And
Yeah.
yeah, the friendship should have continued, but it didn't. So those are some of the things I'd say.
What does so Kutza said honesty and transparent. What does transparency look like to you in a relationship?
You don't withhold information, like you're willing to share about yourself, I guess. It's
No
like you're
wrong answer. No wrong answer.
oh, okay. From what I've learned, it's like you're seeing through someone, like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
through someone. They're letting you see through them.
Yeah.
What would you
Yeah.
say?
I'd say my real raw naked truth is me being transparent and them allowing it as well. You ever had a friendship where one person always tells what they're going through, but the other one never wants to share? Like you ask questions, it is like pulling teeth to find out what's going on in their life. They're never honest, they're never transparent. They're always really mysterious with stuff, but want to always know your business. Yeah, that's mm-mm. That's not transparent. And then two, it's the openness for me. It's all about the openness and your willingness. Like if you trust me and you know I have you and you love me, you know that I love you. Openness should be like a given gift in the relationship. And I get it. Some people have been so hurt by relationships, they're kind of closed and they don't trust people. But if we're like really in this thing together, let's be in this thing together. Again, I don't want it to be top heavy. It's more on this side than on this side because at some point, the person that's carrying most of the burden, they're going to get tired. They're going to get tired and they're going to get a little bit resentful because I'm always giving and you give nothing. So, yeah. Here's a good comment. If you do wrong, you tell the other party and not try to hide it. Now that's that real, real honesty. Let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you what I said. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that good stuff right there. Yeah.
Um, I lost my train of thought. Oh yes. So you said I said safe place. We talked about transparency. How can people find the courage to be transparent? Because a lot of us have been quite traumatized. So we do have guards up or walls up, as they say. How how can someone overcome that and be transparent?
So the answer you're probably not gonna like. You have to be transparent. You have to start. You have to start. If you never become transparent because you're afraid to, you're gonna always be afraid to become transparent. Does that make sense? So the other thing is everybody is not the person that hurt you initially. They're not the person that broke your trust in the first place. So you can't look at everybody through the same lens that you looked at the last person that broke your heart or the last person that broke your trust. You can slowly give people the opportunity to prove themselves to you, to show themselves to you without like diving in 100 all at one time, but just be willing to do it because you don't know the treasure you could be missing out on because you're still dwelling on somebody that hurt you back when you were 11 years old, right? Um, and then being totally honest. If I'm having trust issues, I'm going to tell you, you know what? Rhoda, like I love kicking it with you. I'm still working on trust issues though. So like I'm not completely open to just giving you my trust, but I'm working on it. So help me. Like if you find I'm starting to pull back or slack back or get a little hush mouth on you, pull my coat on it so I can get better. But try it and then just be honest. But you have to be willing to try because if you don't do anything different, you're gonna always have the same results.
That's true. So how does that look like when someone does it for the first time? Like, do you say, "Hey, friend, I'm gonna try and be
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
transparent"?
Just be transparent, right? But like I said, you don't dive in 100%. Like, if, okay, let me say it like this. We have to learn to protect our hearts like newborn babies. When you have a newborn baby, you are not taking that baby around everybody, right? Old school is for 6 weeks, nobody's gonna be around that baby because you don't want the baby to get the germs, you don't want the baby to get sick. Plus, you got to be careful with spirits around your child. So if we treat our heart like that, so I might let my mom come over, but I'm not gonna let the neighbor come over yet, right? My auntie might be able to come over at week 2, but the school teacher that taught me can't come over just yet. Just little bitty steps, just trying it, right? Um, you don't have to make the announcement that I'm trying this out, but you could just try it out with something small, something simple. Um, and again, being honest is going to be important. So right now, I really need to talk to you, Rhoda. Like, I really need somebody that I can talk and trust to. Maybe I'm not going to tell you everything. I'll tell you a little bit, and I see how you respond to that. If the response is good, maybe I give a little bit more. So just try it. You know, it doesn't have to be a book way to do it. Just try it. Just give yourself a chance to try it.
Yeah. What happens if the other person responds really ghetto, like just terrible? How do
Okay.
you handle that?
Note to self. Note to self. Pay attention to the response. And when you try it again, if it's the same ghetto response, then that may be something for you to pay attention to. But that prayer, I'm telling you, that prayer is amazing. God, show me the true contents of this person's heart toward me and why they are in my life. If they're not supposed to be here, remove them.
Wow.
Remove them. You can cry about it for a day or two and then wipe your tears and keep on going, but um because you always need the Holy Spirit, you always need God to guide you. We cannot be doing life without him. I don't care what it is. But that's super important. Oh, we getting some hellos. Hello.
Hi guys, my
Hello.
sisters.
What's
Hi.
up, gang gang?
Those are my girls in Auckland, New Zealand gang. If you're New
New
Zealand,
Zealand
put
is
New
up in
Zealand in
here.
the chat.
And
Ow.
and
um, I wanna hit on intentionality for a bit, Coach. If that's
before
okay.
you do, you want to hit this one real quick? They want to
Oh
give their
yes.
answer.
My sister said signs of a healthy friend: available, not judgmental, corrects in love, supports you, honest, intentional, good at communicating, has relational intelligence, pure heart towards you, dropping gems. Thank you, kids. Why? Those are all the things we did say. And yes, Mimi, guidance of the Holy Ghost is important. I love my sisters in the chat. So with my complaint before, Coach, was I haven't really bumped into many people. Like, I can count on one hand how many people I've met in friendships and they're actually intentional. So some people I know and love, they say, oh, like, I'm too busy to intentionally reach out and check on you and hang out with you. Like, they describe friendship to be a burden. But
Hmm.
in my mind, I'm like, shouldn't it be effortless and easy to just care about the well-being of someone else and just engage with them, even if it is like once a week or once every 2 weeks? A simple hi, how are you, or is there anything I can do for you? I don't know, but it's like a lot of people I bump into and even see online, they don't even engage in friendship. Like, they they act like it's such a burden,
Hmm.
like pastoring or something. If you're a pastor,
I
I
didn't
love
ask you to
you,
be my
but
pastor.
if you're a
I
pastor, I
just
love you,
said say
but
what's up
don't,
once
please
a
don't
week.
give me that job. That's a hard job.
Respond.
But
That is too funny.
maybe I don't know if you can speak up for those people, because that ticks me off.
Well, keep it real. Go ahead, say what your chest. Um, Honestly, I to me, those people don't want a relationship. And that's okay.
Mm.
So if you are experiencing someone that you just keep reaching out and you keep trying and that person is giving you resistance, like to the 10th power, walk away. Walk away. Like, why are you begging and pleading to love someone? That's pretty much what it is. You're ready to love, but this person is giving you resistance, then maybe that's not where you're supposed to deposit that type of love. That doesn't mean that you stop loving them, you stop praying for them. If they call, that you're not there. But um my Angelou said it best: if they show you who they are, believe it, and stop trying to see something different. But then also, I'm gonna go back to me in conversation. I totally believe in talking about it. Let me find out first if it's the intention that you really don't want to have a relationship with me. Then I can understand that. If you tell me, you know what, it's not that, it's just this new baby and this new job, and I'm in school, okay, maybe I need to pull back and be more understanding that you may not have time. Is you see the message in your mind, you're going to respond, but life starts to happen. So then I tell you, you know what, Rhoda, but I miss you. So let's schedule some time together. Put me on your calendar. If it's not that important, or it's one of those, okay, you just don't want to fool with me, it's all right if you walk away. Sometimes the best gift someone can give you is the gift of goodbye.
Wow. What
Yeah.
about those people who are like, leave it up, be shady, but they're just like,
Say it. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
they're just like, oh, like, I hate being on my phone all the time.
Hmm.
Or,
But they always on their phone.
honey, why am I texting you at 9 a.m. and then you posting all day and then you don't reply to me for 5 days and then be like, oh, sorry, didn't see your message. But
You hear?
you were active on the social
You
stream.
understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? It'd be the whole lie for me. Because here's
Right.
the thing: social media tell all your business. Social media tells me how the last time you were on. It shows when you post it. It shows sometimes when you're commenting on the things. And the thing is it we get in our feelings a bit when we see somebody that we've been reaching out to not reaching back, but they can do that. Like, I get it. And that has broken up many a romantic relationship too. But you know what? It either shows me that you just don't want to make the time for me, you don't have the time for me, and in some cases you actually did not get the message. So if I talk to you and every time I talk to you I get the same reason, oh my bad, I just, okay, then to me that's a sign you don't want to fool with me no more. And here in America, basically that means I don't want to be your friend no more. You know what I mean? You just don't know how to say it. You're not brave enough to just tell me, right? But I'm not going to chase you down. At some point I can be putting this energy into myself, into other people that want my time, and I'm not going to beg you to take my gift. You know what I mean? It's a gift that I want to give to you that God gave to me. But if you don't want it, I can't make you take it. And it's okay. It's all right.
So I'm thinking of reciprocity. What does that look like? Because that's a complaint I've gotten this week, actually. Like, people have been so sad because they've realized I'm doing the most in my friendships, but these people aren't giving back or they aren't
Jack.
noticing what I'm
Mm-hmm.
putting out. So, what
Mm-hmm.
does reciprocity look like?
It looks like what I was saying earlier. You're giving as much as you're taking, and it's balanced and it's not top heavy. Rhoda's not doing all the work. Nikki is not doing all the work. Together, we are shining at the, because there are some things you're going to do better than me. So you shine at them and I let you do them. And then it's going to be vice versa, right? If you're always taking, and taking could be money, it could be my advice all the time, it could be my time all the time. But when I need you, I can't find you for nothing, right? When I need to talk, I need to borrow some money, whatever it is, you never have for me. That is so one-sided. And like I said earlier, at some point, the person that's carrying the heaviest weight, that burden, they're going to get tired. They're going to get really, really tired. You're going to mess that friendship up. You're really going to ruin it with that person. So I think just balance, and I know that you're here for me as much as I'm here for you. I cannot stand when someone says, I love you, Nikki. You're so amazing and blah, blah, blah. And I want to be here for you like you're here for me. And the opportunity comes and they're not there. But every time they need me, they're always picking up the phone or they're always coming by the house. At some point, do you not feel bad for always taking and never redepositing? Like your bank account, you can't always take and never put anything in it. What happens? It gets overdrawn. And sometimes we can get overdrawn in our spirit. We can get tired. We can get weary because we're always pouring out and no one is pouring back into us, right? So I just think it has to be incredibly balanced, and it doesn't need to be heavy on either side. Keep it balanced, and let it be real reciprocity.
That is so good. If I had a pen and paper, I'd be
What does it look like for you? Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you were the one doing the most in the relationship?
All the time. All the time. I would say like 70% of my
Oh,
friendships have been like that in the
yeah.
past. All
So
the
what do you
time.
do?
Huh?
What do you do about it? How do you handle it?
At the time I just kept pouring and pouring, and then when I got tired I said, you know what? God bless them and their future generations to come, but I guess we're going our
Bless
separate.
you and yours.
Yes, bless you and all your offspring in Jesus.
Right.
But I guess, the time has come for us to just drift apart, and that's
Hmm.
okay. But yeah,
Hmm.
before I would really try hard, like
Yeah.
really try.
Yeah, that's draining. That's so draining.
It is like
Yeah.
really. What would you say about being equally yoked in friendships? Is there such a thing?
I totally believe that there is, but I also believe in friendships. It can be beautiful if there are some differences, right? Um, if I'm super quiet and you're a little bit louder, I think we'll pull each other, right? You'll pull me out of my shell, and I can maybe hopefully teach you how to calm down a little bit, right? There's some good yin and yang right there.
Yeah.
And some good opposites are attracting. I think where it becomes an issue is where I want to go in life, or where I'm going is polar opposite to where you're going. So if I'm studying for my doctorate and I have to study, but you're always trying to pull me out to the club, and you have no desire to be in school, or whatever, all you want to do is party, I'd have to ask myself, where can we go in this friendship, right? How far can we go? Or are you just an understanding friend that says, you know what, study, I got you, I'm praying for you, but on the 24th it's me and you, we're gonna spend time together. So yeah, I think opposites can attract, and there can be a good yin and yang, but if this is like so polar opposite that we can never meet in the middle, not for me. What about you?
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think, well, myself and some of my honeys, we really struggled because we just know that our standard of life, what God requires of us, where God is
Hmm.
taking us, the way we're wired is very unique to other young people around
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
So it's just been really difficult. Like with friendships, you think someone's cool or on your level or has capacity for you, and then a lot
Hmm.
of them don't. So it's
Hmm.
like, oh, like, do I still like be your friend and pour myself into you, or do I just wait for a miraculous like fellow eagle to just swoop in my life and we
Hmm.
soar together? Like there's a
Hmm.
real scarcity for some of us when it comes to friendships because we're just different, not better than others, but
Hmm.
we're just
Hmm.
different, and
I
that's
would.
painful.
It is. I would say, as a caution, though, don't not be willing to befriend someone because some of the commonalities aren't as common, right? Because if I'm looking for me and a friend, do you understand what I'm saying? That means I want them to be exactly like me, like everything that I like, do everything that I do. Is that what you really want?
No.
And I mean, if it is, it is. But if that's what you really, really want, somebody that is literally your clone, no. I don't want that in a relationship romantically either. I want us to have a lot of commonalities, don't get me wrong, but I can't expect that man to be Nikki part two, right? So even if you look at the disciples, all of the disciples were different. Some of them, was real gangster. Some of them was real kind. Some of them were doing different occupations than the other ones. And all of them were witnessing the same thing. But if you go read the scriptures, the way they write it is different. Like they were looking at different scenes, right? So there's nothing wrong with being in relationship with someone that is different from you. It's if the differences are not beneficial or valuable, or it cannot meet a common ground sometimes, or if it just totally takes you out of character in the wrong way, right? You do drugs, so all of a sudden, because I hang with you now, I'm doing them. And that's not what I'm talking about. You don't need to be doing that. But I think that there's nothing wrong with having someone that is different in certain areas, because again, that is how you grow. And I don't want a clone. I don't want another Nikki. I like that we like the same things in a lot of areas, but I'm not looking for me and a friend. Well, no, I'm looking for some of my qualities in a friend. I'm not gonna lie about that, but I'm not looking for another Nikki, right? I'm not looking for my clone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good. Thank you. That's so helpful.
yeah. You have to learn to protect our hearts like a newborn baby. That part, y'all. Let me find out y'all taking notes and stuff. Let me find out.
Yes. Come on.
If this is helping y'all, drop down in the comments DYMP gang, Dear Younger Me Podcast Gang.
Gang, gang,
Hashtag
gang, gang,
DYMP gang gang. Go ahead.
gang, gang, gang. That's some
Dev.
questions I have about friendship. I think I really appreciate when you said communicate. When you were giving an example about when the friendship is drifting apart, like you
Mm-hmm.
said something, because a lot of people have like hold grudges or have assumptions for
Mm-hmm.
years, and they could have just easily reached out to the person, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. Yes, healing, gang, 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 gang. Yes, cut through. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Shout out your peeps. Go ahead.
Period. But yeah, people get offended. People hold grudges for years, and they could have simple conversation. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's something even I can do better. When it comes to giving feedback that's not super positive, or just being
Mm-hmm.
honest about how someone may have mistreated me, just
Mm-hmm.
having the courage to communicate and knowing that communicating will actually make things better. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm just scared to communicate because I'm worried, like, things will be different in a bad
Mm-hmm.
way. But it's better to communicate, just give the
Mm-hmm.
person a fair chance, if that makes sense. So that's probably my favorite thing you said today.
And I love what you just said is well, I had something else, but now this is my favorite. You said I have to have the courage. And that's the thing, is when it comes to communication, we become afraid, because we don't want to be confrontational. We don't want to start an argument. Sometimes we don't want to lose a person by telling them our truth. But if you and I build our friendship on communication, there should be nothing that I can't tell you. And when my feelings are hurt, when I'm feeling a certain kind of way, I should be telling you this. Like, why am I keeping inside what I feel was caused by an act that you did? And why are you keeping it inside by something that I did? That is how people drift apart, right? That is how relationships break up. And here's the crazy part: when they talk again, like years later, and start talking about the situation that happened, they realize both of them saw it the wrong way. There was a misunderstanding. Like, it's something that could have been easily fixed. And then on the flip side of that, some things cannot be fixed. The conversation that you have with them may end up being the last conversation, and that's okay too. But be brave. What can words do? What can words really do to you that we're so afraid of them? What can our feelings really do that we're so afraid of them? Ask yourself that question.
Period.
That part. That part.
That's all I have to say.
All right. So, how are you feeling about our first live episode?
I really enjoyed our first live episode. I feel like we looked at friendships from a lot of different angles and covered a
Mhm.
lot of different areas. However, audience, DYMP gang, if there's stuff that I didn't mention to Coach Nick, you'd love her to expound on. If you have any questions, if you have any dilemmas about friendships yourself, please do inbox us or email dear Nick and Rhoda at gmail.com, and we will make sure to answer it this time next week on our next episode. We're gonna have a segment actually called Ask Auntie Nick. So that will start next on our next live, and we'll just have a section where we take in your real life questions, dilemmas, scenarios, and you will get advice because we want to help you too.
Absolutely. And let me backdoor that one. Rhoda may have said something today that you've been dealing with, or asked a question that you wanted her to kind of take another way. Let us know that. Like, it's not just asking me. We're talking to Rhoda like we're family. We're sitting down and we're really having the conversations that we need to have, right? And it just doesn't have to be the Gen Zs. It's my, you and it's Gen Z, Gen X. It didn't have to be just you guys. Like we have questions too in our age. Like there are things about what you all are experiencing now that we didn't have to experience. So we want to really hear from everybody that is watching.
Oh no, definitely. Like, don't let age stop you. I have a sweet sister of mine, coach, who messaged me last night. So sweet. She was like, "I really pray your podcast makes women whole and healed and stuff." I appreciate that, but our podcast is not actually just for women.
Yeah.
Like if I was a guy, I'd tune in, get all the tea, and also ask stuff to get a woman's perspective. And there are heaps of topics like this one today that apply
Hmm.
to both genders. So please
Hmm.
don't feel like, guys, because there's two hot girls on the flyer,
I
that this
mean, wait.
that this is a female only show. It's not.
Yeah.
It's for all humankind. So
Come on, all
feel free
humankind.
to ask us and engage and email us, talk to us. We're not scary.
That part. So we're going to end our show, our live episodes with talking to our younger selves. And we're going to say, dear younger me, whatever it was that you take from this episode that you would like to speak to the younger version of Rhoda, either when she was struggling with friendships when she was younger or something that you just wish she knew then that you know now, what would you like to say to her?
So I would say, dear younger me, do not be afraid to be transparent and communicate honestly with your friends. They are not the same people who hurt you in the past.
Mm. That was good and meaty and delicious. I
What
would,
about
huh?
what about you?
I would say, dear younger me, it is okay that people walk away. That sometimes the best gift that someone can give you is the gift of goodbye. It's okay to cry if you need to, a day or two. Then you wipe your face and you pick it up because if they walked away, it's okay. They needed to. That is all. That is all. Someone just said, good morning. They just woke up. Here to
Hi,
support the talk
Audrey.
show.
That's one of my best friends, Audrey. Future
All right.
bridesmaid, Audrey.
Am,
Love
am, am, am.
you, Audrey.
We are so glad. So, real quick, let's talk about our time zone difference for those that like are just starting to watch. It
Okay.
is Friday for me. It is now 4:52 p.m. Tell everybody what day it is for you.
In New Zealand, it is Saturday and it is 9:52 a.m. Me and Coach Nick have been. I told her, if this is what, listen, if this is what a long distance relationship feels like, because I was the one who was like, God, please make it happen for me. But the time zones be crazy. Like this week, we've been up at weird times with each other, just working on this. But yeah, I am, I think, 18 hours ahead of you. I'm not good at math. Someone who's
I
good at
think 19, if I'm not mistaken. It could
yeah,
be
something
19.
like that. Ahead of
Yeah.
us. So
So ironically, we talked about friendships and having to navigate because we have known each other for almost a year now, but we've had to navigate having a business relationship to get the podcast together on totally different time zones. You're a whole day ahead of me. Your night is my before day in the morning. And then we pre-recorded 5 amazing episodes, but like I was getting up at 6 in the morning to do that. And she was whispering late at night. So it was a thing. It was a whole thing, but we got it done and we're so excited. Please tell everybody where they can find us, Love Muffin, and we're going to be, well, we have a quick question. Hold on. How do you two manage to keep up with each other with the time difference? Well, we just mentioned a little bit of it. I'm going to let you start off. How are you managing it?
well,
It's okay. Let's be honest.
this week, I just made sacrifices to stay up all night or wake up super early to talk to her, record, work together. So we just both made sacrifices for the sake of y'all, and yeah, it was just okay, and we gave each other our schedules. Mine's very open, thank God, this week. So we did a lot as we did as much as we could on the days where we both were free, and I just had to compromise sleep or she did So yeah, that's how we did, just sacrifice to compromise. I
Mhm.
think we're gonna be good wives.
Listen, did y'all catch that? I will say our communication has been very important because things can get lost in translation. So going back and saying, wait, what does this mean? Or fixing something. The other thing is being willing to compromise. Like I could say, girl, no, that's too early in the morning for me. And she could be like, that's too late at night. But it's for the sake of this vision, right? And our DYMP gang. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
lady.
appreciate that because you have no idea how exhausted I am. Today has been a whole day.
Oh, you
Absolutely teamwork.
good.
Absolutely teamwork. And then I think the last thing would be is just trying it out. Because it's been some errors and a couple of bumps, but we ended up smoothing those edges out. So yeah, that's how we're doing. And we pray. We pray.
All
We
the
pray.
time.
Yeah.
All the time. Even
Yeah.
before this show, before we
Hmm.
talk, before we record. Yeah. So you
Hmm.
asked before, where can they find us?
Yes.
So I created a link tree, linktr.ee/Dear Younger Me. And on there you will see this Facebook page that we are live on. Please like and follow and turn on notifications for this Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Then we also have a YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
called Dear Younger Me.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find us on there. Then we have an Instagram page called Dear Younger Me Podcast. And then we have an audio podcast that we do. So we are on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts at Dear Younger Me Podcast. So those are all the ways you can follow us. Again, our email address is dearnickandrhoda@gmail.com. If you want to tell us anything, if you have feedback from today, anything you want to say, give us an email. It's all confidential.
All of it, and unless you want us to say your name, I mean, you let us know. It's been an amazing show. It has been wonderful. We got our first live out of the way. Y'all, please go check out our first episode. It's already uploaded on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. But don't just upload. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. Make sure you talk about it. Tell everybody if you got anything from today's episode, drop it down in the comments. It keeps us encouraged, but it also lets us know what we need to keep talking about. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you
Any
guys
last
for
words?
watching. If you watch on Facebook, please share our live. If you're watching from Facebook, that will really help because we don't stream on our personal pages, just the public ones. So share your girls.
That part. Hey, and well, it's been a beautiful show. We thank you guys so much, and we will see y'all on next Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time.
And Saturday, 9 a.m. New Zealand time.
That part. All right, y'all. We are absolutely out. See y'all.
Love you guys.